What is going on, hobby family? It is your boy K-Dub, and this is K-Dub's High Five. 5 rapid fire questions with your favorite hobby faces. And today, some of y'all may think of him a newcomer on Twitter, but he's actually a long comer when it comes to Instagram. He's co-owners in the up and coming shop in California, the California Roadshow. He's a social media guru, man. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Loop. The guy does it all. Welcome, my dude, Justin Channels at Justin Channels on Twitter. How you doing, my man?
Dude, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate you joining me. So how this works is I got 5 questions, hobby related. I'm going to throw them at you one right after another. You can answer as long or as short as you see fit. You ready to take on the high five?
Perfect. I'm ready for it.
All right, man. First question. I tag you and Derek Carr everything on Twitter, but I've never known why. Why did you land on Derek Carr as kind of your PC guy?
For sure. So when I started getting back into collecting, like seriously, in about 2014, 2015, my brother had created a Twitter account in about 2012. And he had been on the Twitter community building a PC of Stephen Taylor. And so Ryan kind of got into Stephen Taylor and got a real big PC and was like, hey, man, you should jump on Twitter with me. And so the time was about 2015. So I got onto Twitter. And at that point, I decided, like, okay, if I have a nice group of guys here, I'm going to have something that I need to PC to have give me some grounding. And naturally, I was a very big Raiders fan, and they had just recently drafted Derek Carr, so it seemed like a good place to start. And so I went to a trade night at Showtime Cards in Arizona. Shout out to George at Showtime. Thanks for being so good to Ryan and I. But I was ripping a box of 2015 Playbook, and I pulled a Marcus Mariota jumbo rookie patch. And I took that to the trade night later that evening, and I was able to trade it for a Derek Carr Playbook RPA.
There it is.
And that was it. That was like, okay, I was able to get a card out of a box and trade it for my first auto. And once I had that RPA, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. This is the guy that I decided to collect. And it just kind of snowballed from there. And over the years, I've been lucky enough to meet him a couple of times. I have some personalized stuff, some selfies with him and everything. And he's just been the best guy and so nice and kind to me every time I've interacted with him. And I like his work ethic. And he's been on the team for a while, setting some franchise records, and hopefully going to get to the playoffs this year.
Yeah, it's awesome when you can, collect the player because you like them as a player, but when you can connect to them as a person, that's huge. I mean, that makes the PC that much more special. So, and everything I've heard about Carr is he's a genuine good dude. So kudos
to the best. Yeah, thanks.
Well, you can speak from experience. I can only speak from interviews and stuff. So, all right. Second question, thinking in your own kind of personal hobby journey, whether that be collecting and now moving into kind of the business part of the hobby, who would you say have been some of your biggest influences in your own personal hobby journey?
That's a great question. This is something I think about quite a bit, and it might be kind of a cheesy answer, but it's got to be Ryan. There's 2. There's Ryan and Jimmy Mahan. So Ryan Channels, my brother, just having somebody to be there. I mean, he's been there with me the entire time to the start where we were collecting Pokemon cards as kids to the point where we started collecting sports cards, and just all the games, all the memories. Everything I have connected with sports goes right back to Ryan. So having him there to bounce ideas off of everything, and that has really stuck with me. And I'm so glad to be going into business with him. And then I said my second answer is Jimmy Mahan. For me, the hobby, the way that Jimmy operates and the way that he represents himself on a day-to-day basis in life and the hobby too, is just so inspiring and really a great role model for me. And so happy to be a part of the team. Just that his mission of elevating the hobby, no matter what you're doing, you're just trying to do it for the betterment of others. And then lastly, I'll say he has this saying that you just make sure in life, no matter what you're doing, that you're always putting sand on the right side of the scale. So that no matter how heavy it might be on the other side. If you keep adding to the right side, eventually it's going to tip in the right direction for, I mean, in every circumstance, you know, just keep putting the sand on the right side of the scale, which that really stuck with me. That is really inspiring.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny. Jimmy has been mentioned on multiple high fives, and he's been on a high five, and he's mentioned just as far as his impact on other people. I mean, it goes far beyond just a little circle of, you know, social media followers. It's huge. The dude is a legend. So, all right, let's talk about cards. I mean, we're card collectors. When you think about your own PC, do you have a favorite PC card, or is there a dream PC card that you're kind of chasing in the moment?
This is tough. This is really tough
Yep.
because I have like a real, like a visual memory with all of my cards. And so
Yeah.
I see some of my favorite ones. I remember the situations, or like my playbook RPA. I see it. And I remember that feeling and the emotions and certain things like that. My first 101 that I pulled.
Yeah.
But I think probably my favorite card has to be my Derek Carr National Treasures True RPA. It's like, because when I started collecting Derek Carr, as I started to learn, people would tell me the National Treasures RPA is the top dog. That's the one that you want.
Yeah.
And so I set that goal for myself to obtain one of those. And it took me a long time. This was probably about 2016, 2017 when I started to realize, okay, if I save up money, and I had to tell myself every paycheck I get, I'm putting a little aside for the RPA.
Gotcha.
And eventually I ended up getting one in the PSA 9 for, I mean, a fraction of the price of what they are now. But
yeah,
I'll piggyback off that and say the dream card would be to be able to get it in Gem Mint. I want to get it in a 10.
Yeah, the 10.
But they're getting up there in price. So I don't know. I'm very content with my 9, but if something happens, or maybe the opportunity presents itself, who knows? But that is definitely the dream card.
Well, you know, opening up your own shop, you never know what's going to walk in the door, brother.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's really exciting.
All right, well, let's go to the product, man. I mean, right now you are in Florida ripping products. Do you have a favorite product that you've ripped, or you've always wanted to rip, and why is that?
Ooh, for me, my absolute favorite product, and I opened this was again right when I was starting to get into it, was museum collection.
Ooh, yes.
And I actually have a master's in museum studies. And so like to have that connection, it's kind of fun to be like, oh yeah, you have the archival autographs and stuff like that. But if I was going to rip one, I'd probably do, I think, is it 2012 is the first year of museum collection, or 2013?
I'm not sure.
Something, one of those 2 years, I'd probably pick first year museum collection and just go crazy.
Heck yeah. That's a beautiful product. I mean, I love, for me, I love quality cards, and that I've seen a lot of museum cards that are just, I have a couple Bishop Sankeys in the museum. They're just beautiful cards. So
they have you seen the ones that came out this year, the Atelier autographs? It's the booklet cards. They open like this way, and it's the stadium motif. So it's the entire baseball stadium, and then the player signs it in gold ink on card.
Oh, wow, that's cool. No, I have not. I'm gonna look that up after this, though. All right,
those are really cool.
Last question, my man. You are about to start a new adventure in the hobby, going into the hobby as a business with the California Roadshow. What are you most excited about, or a couple things maybe that you're most excited about in moving from collector into business hobby?
Oh man, I think the overarching answer is just the people. I can't wait, because throughout my entire life, like growing up, it's always been like I got my degree in history and then museum studies. I was getting ready to take a job at a museum, and then this opportunity presented itself, and it really became apparent that it's like, yes, okay, I have been going to school, this and that, but it's been growing to this ever since. And I think back on all these amazing memories and moments that we have. And I just can't wait to be doing that every day. And really what that all revolves around is the people. Like what we're doing right now, K-Dub. I just sitting down, talking shop, having a good time.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do that and be a beacon for our community. Sonoma is a very special place to Ryan and I. We both went to Sonoma State. You know, we grew up 15 minutes down the road, and it's just like to be a spot to where we can bring that positivity and elevate the hobby in our local town is really incredible. And we can't wait to get to work.
Heck yeah, man. Well, just know, man, I got Card Collector 2's card shop number. I got Kentucky Roadshow's card shop number. And I just randomly call them and say, what's up? So you may be getting some phone calls at the shop from K-Dub just randomly. So be ready for that.
As soon as we get it established, I'll be the first person to get it.
Heck yeah. All right, man, I got one more bonus question. As you can see, I'm rocking the Vikes. We got NFL kickoff week. Who's your pick for Who's your pick for the Super Bowl this year? Who you got?
The Raiders. No.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll tell you, I like Green Bay.
Oh.
I think, I know it's tough. I think it's interesting. I think Rodgers has a chip on his shoulder after all that stuff, and they got so close last year.
Absolutely. Last 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, you got to go with your heart. I'm always going to say Vikings. You're always going to say Raiders, but I think in our
100%.
In our minds, we're always ready to be disappointed. So
I think we could squeeze out a wild card here. The Raiders might. I mean, it was looking like it last year.
Yeah,
and then
that's true. All right, man. That's all I got. We got a high five at the end of K-Dub's high five. So put it up there. Boom. I appreciate you joining me. You can check out Justin on Twitter at Justin Channels. Also, make sure you're following along for the California Roadshow updates on Twitter as well. You can also follow me if you're bored at Mr. K-Dub. Always remember, be the good in the world. Thanks so much for joining me, bro. And y'all take care.
Thank you so much.
This is a demo sound of freeintromusic.com.